Today's topic is interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence are basically the questioning sentence, the sentence that ends with a question mark. Now, there are two types of or kinds of interrogative sentence. The first one is the yes or no questions. These are such questions to which the answers will be either a yes or a no. And the second type of question is known as the WH question. These are such questions whose answers will be in a detailed form. Like the question can be when, where, why, what. So these are all WH questions. Now we are going to discuss how to convert an assertive sentence into an interrogative sentence. See, we're given some examples, some questions. Now, there are some rules. Before we come to this, there are some rules that we need to follow in order to convert a sentence from assertive to interrogative. And the rules are: first, you have to identify the be form of verb. Be form of verb in the sentence, in the assertive sentence. Now, what are be form of verb? Is am, are. If it is past tense, then it will be was, were. So these are all can, may, these are all types of be form of verb. So we have to first identify these words in the assertive sentence and then bring it forward. The second thing we have to look for is if there are no auxiliary or be form of verb or helping verb. These are also known as auxiliary or be form of verb. So if these helping verbs are not there in the assertive sentence given to us, then we have to either use do or does or did. Now we have to understand when are these things used. Do is used for plural, like they do not like to eat chocolate. So they do not. So for plural, do is used. I do not like to eat chocolate. So for I it is used. You do not like to eat chocolate. So you is. For you is also do is used. And does is used for all singular sentence. He does not like to eat chocolate. She does not like to eat chocolate. So these are all singular. For singular form, does is used. And did is used for past tense. Like he left the school. So he left the school. So left word signifies that it is somewhere in the past. So at that point of time, we have to write did he leave the school. So for past tense, did is used. The third rule that we have to see is we have to look for certain words. Like if it is said in the question, a word like if we come across a word such as um, every, ever, then the ever changes to never, or never changes to ever. That is how it changes. There are other words as well, like for an example, if it is no one, then no one would change to no, it would change. The basically this word no would change to any. No one to anyone. So this is the next rule that we have, and so on. Now we are going to first solve some simple sentences. See, they play football. We have to convert the sentence into an interrogative sentence. It is assertive sentence, ends with a full stop, so you have to change it into an interrogative sentence. So now here in the sentence you can see there is no be form of verb, no helping verb in the sentence. There is only a main verb, that is play. And the main verb that we have over here is in present tense because play is a present tense. There are no helping verb, which means that we have to use do or does, because it is present tense, so did will not be used. There's no be form of verb, so that will not be the case. So we have to use this, the second formula. So over here, see, it's given they. They means plural. So whenever we have got plural, it means we have to use, see, for plural, we have to use do. So this is how we're going to write it. That is do, because it is plural, so that is why do. No be form of verb, so that is why we're using do, does, or did. So we're using do. Then they football. So the questions become, do they play football? Question mark. So this is how we're going to solve this. Now we'll move to some other sentence. See, Priya studies for 5 hours a day. Again, here there is no be form of verb. There is a main verb, studies, which is again in present tense. So which means no be form of verb, so it will be either do or does will be used. And here Priya, which means singular. So if there is singular, so what do we use? We use does for singular. So it will begin with a does. So we're going to write does. The answer will be does. Then the next part of the question will follow. Does Priya? Now the verb is in present tense, studies. So here it will become study. study, not studies. Because we have already used does over here. S is also already used over here. So does Priya study for 5 hours every day? Question mark. So the sentence would be, does Priya study for 5 hours every day? Next is, she is not a bad person. Over here you can see there's a be form of verb is. So it will move forward here. So it will become is. Now the rest part of the sentence would follow. Is she? Now over here, because not is being used, we are not going to use not over here in the sentence. So she is not a bad person. The sentence suggests that the person is not bad. So if she's not bad, so we'll ask, is she a bad person? So she's not a bad person. Is she a bad person? Because see, technically, if the question asked is she not a bad person? You can't answer she is not a bad person. Is she a bad person? Then you can answer she is not a bad person. So you have to always think that the sentence given to us is the answer that is for the question that we are framing. So this is the way we are going to do it. Now the next sentence, Rita never eats junk food. Here there is no be form of verb. There is a main verb that is eats and it is in present tense. Simple. So we can write Rita is a singular form, so that is why does will be used. So does Rita. Now there is another sentence. See, never is given. Over here, not was given, so we have removed the not. So over here, never is given, negative thing. So never will change to ever. This is a basic rule. So does Rita ever eat eats junk food? Question mark. So from here we come to the next rule, that is never becomes ever. So this is our next rule. Here number, okay, see number 3, third rule. Ever changes to never and never changes to ever. Next, Ruskin Bond was a great writer. So be form of verb is was. It will come first. So was Ruskin Bond. See, there is no not in the sentence, so we are going to write it because see, Ruskin Bond was a great writer. So the question will be, was Ruskin Bond not a great writer? The answer will be, Ruskin Bond was a great writer. So was Ruskin Bond not a great writer? Next, nobody would like to be called cruel. Here, nobody is given. Would like to be called a cruel. So we are going to write who would. Nobody would. So who would like to be called a cruel? We can also write that would anybody like to be called a cruel? So you can use this would before. So you can also write it in this manner, would anybody, and change this nobody to anybody as per the rule. So we are going to write would anybody like to be called a cruel? Question mark. Next, everyone loves his own country. Everyone loves his own country. So it's going to be, there are no be form of verb, loves is a main verb. So we can write it in this manner that who does not love his own country? We can also write it in this manner, that does everyone will become no one or anyone. So does anyone not love his own country?